Hey guys, welcome to Friday Night Magic at Four Horsemen. We are Dana D'Amato.
And Kurt and I.
And we'll be commentating tonight for you guys. So we have our round one match getting ready to go here in about a couple minutes.
Yep.
I believe it's Burn versus Combo Elves.
Yeah, there's some spicy elf deck. Nobody's seen him use it yet, so...
We had a little thing with Combo Elves going on, so Wyatt decided to bring the combo to Elves, and that is with Colossal Curio and Emrakul the Aeon Storm.
Oh boy, okay.
So what Colossal Curio allows you to do is whenever you cast a creature spell, you can return a creature to your hand. Essentially, or a spell of that type to your hand. So, essentially, he can generate infinite mana, thus getting an Elvish Visionary, draw his library, and cast Emrakul the Aeon Storm. Or just, use Azuri and make his team infinitely large.
Oh man, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah,
Not every day you get to see an Emrakul get hard cast.
Oh no, I would love to see an Emrakul actually cast instead of actually cheated into play. It'd be a little bit of a better experience. So let's head on down to the table here and see where our players are right now. All right, so looks like they are still shuffling up. We will give them the green light here in a little bit. So, Kurt, who do you like in this matchup?
That's tough because I don't know anything about Wyatt's deck here with his combo elves. He's playing against Burn. Elves is already usually a pretty quick deck, so I mean, if he can pull off a quick Emrakul, I don't see how Burn can really eke out a victory here. He'd have to have a very, very, very fast start.
Yeah, I agree. I think that Burn is going to need to be right on top of his creatures along with spells to target the face in order to actually get there in an efficient manner. But we will wait and see here for these guys. We'll give them the green light here in a second. Getting this updated for you guys back home.
All right.
Hopefully I didn't butcher Wyatt's last name. We'll find out here soon.
Everybody just knows him as Wyatt, so his last name's pretty insignificant.
All right, we are going to stomp for these guys, and we're going to start the clock, and we're going to see, hopefully, a really good interactive game of Magic.
Yeah. Looks like Wyatt won the dice roll, assuming they were doing high roll.
I would think so.
I've played against a few people who try to low roll, and they sneak it in there, and they go low roll real quick, and try to miss it there.
I'm not a fan of the low roll. It's not like the variance. I mean, there's obviously variance in both, but it just seems a little unorthodox, and it kind of bothers me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the sneaky trickstery moves.
Right.
Good old high roll for me. All right, looks like Wyatt's got a couple lands.
Yeah, I think that's what the Elves land's looking for. It can really go off with one land, and as long as you have like valuable creatures to play, it'll be good. Wyatt is going to mulligan, though, so maybe the creatures wasn't strong enough.
Yeah,
looks like Curtis is going to match him, too.
Maybe too many lands. Looks like he had maybe 3 or 4. Couldn't quite get a good look.
And that is surprising, too. You think about like an average deck that has 2 lands in their opening hand and like 5 spells. You're like, okay, I think this is doable. Where Elves is like, it could be really efficient with 1 land. 2 lands could just be too much.
As a lover of Arbor Elf myself, I understand the value of the mana dorks. Which, I mean, I think, like you said, could be Curtis's only real shot is stemming the tide of the infinite mana by just killing as many elves.
Right, and that's what Curtis needs to do in this matchup. I think he needs to look for the value creatures like Heritage Druid and Azuri, have burn spells available for them to be able to take care of them when they get into the battlefield, but also be able to have burn spells and apply pressure to Wyatt's face. Yeah. Because the Elves deck is not really known for like a lot of shock lands and like a greedy mana base that's going to take a lot of life themselves. So Burn is going to have a little bit of work to do. So it looks like Wyatt is going to go to 5, and then Curtis is going to keep his 6 and Scry. And it looks like he's going to leave that on top.
Yeah, Elves, I mean, occasionally they run, what do I see, Cavern of Souls, sometimes like Hallowed Fountain, if they're Tim Scroggs and they're running green-white Elves.
Looks like Curtis ended up bottom of that. Yeah, so, I mean, the Elves mana base is really all over the place. I know currently, after talking to Wyatt and Tim, they're trying to integrate their mana base to more of an Abzan version of Elves. I know Wyatt right now is at least running Shaman of the Pack. The white, I don't know how strong it could be, because, when you add white mana and make it an Abzan mana base, your mana base gets really aggressive. Because you're going to be fetching and shocking a lot. Right. So it's just something to go for. So here we go. We have a Horizon Canopy. So Wyatt's going to take a life, dropping down to 19.
Oof. That's a nice looking
And he's going to drop a Elvish Mystic and send it on over to Curtis. So, I mean, that's what you can ask for in the Elves deck. Turn one Elvish Mystic, and it's up to Curtis now to decide whether or not he wants to bolt this.
Right. I don't know if I would bolt on a Mystic. It's hard to say, especially since I don't know Wyatt's deck at all.
Yeah, you gotta be a little curious, because Wyatt has to be talking about this combo. So I'm Curtis, maybe not 100% incorrect to bolt the Mystic here, but at the same time, holding up that burn spell for a significant threat could also be good. Looks like he's going to be a Goblin guy, so that's a good start here. So we know Wyatt's not going to block. We're going to have a trigger off guide. And that is going to see what Wyatt gets. That is not going to be a land, but an Elvish Archdruid.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I didn't see another land in Wyatt's hand, though, so I don't know if he's going to be able to cast it this turn.
So ideally for Wyatt, if he has an Elvish Visionary, he can hopefully draw a card into a land. Right. But we'll see. Okay, so we have a chance here.
Mystic.
So he's gonna lose a life off the Mystic, off the canopy.
Gets in with the Mystic.
Going to 16, and yeah, he's punishing Curtis, dropping to 18. I mean, Elvish Mystics not only ramp, they also can attack.
He's sending the message.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure. All right, looks like Curtis, your Sacred Foundry. I see that right?
That is correct.
All right, excellent.
And there's a Searing Blaze with landfall. So it looks like Curtis shocked in the Sacred Foundry, going 16 apiece. And Searing Blaze with landfall allows me to deal 3 damage to a creature and also drain Wyatt for 3.
Still no land for Wyatt.
So Wyatt's going to be down to 13. And then he's also going to take 2 off the Goblin guy, going down to 11.
Right. So Curtis is in an okay spot right now. If he can keep Wyatt reliant on his mana dorks and just keep burning him away.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Looking at Curtis's hand, he has a bolt, a lava spike. He's pushing the range of I can pull this out.
Right, and he can just keep chipping away with the Goblin Guide until he has enough to get that explosive right to the face.
Because it's up to Wyatt whether or not he wants to block that card, because he knows most of his creatures are going to die to it as of right now, and it's up to Wyatt whether or not he wants to try to ramp or be defensive and make sure he doesn't die.
Right, and as Wyatt's life total gets lower, he's putting himself in a dangerous spot.
Alright, so there is a 1/7 heat, so Wyatt is going to have an access to another land. Unfortunately, it just fetched land, though.
Yeah.
And we're going to see whether or not Wyatt's going to take this 2 damage here.
It's a tough call, because if he takes it, it puts him at 9. If Curtis had 3 bolts in hand, that's game. And he doesn't know if Curtis has that or not. So.
And we know Wyatt now has the 1/7 teeth, so he can fetch for a basic and be able to play the Elvish Archdruid, but he's still in the awkward situation of having the Horizon Canopy in play, to where he's going to have to lose a life every time he floats a mana of that color. So this is a really tough choice here for whether or not Wyatt wants to take it. So yeah, he is going to take it. Looks like he can drop it down to 9.
Oof. And the Archdruid, it's definitely a card that he needs to play, but he's in such a bad spot for him now, because Curtis can just bolt it away and keep getting in.
So yeah, there's a lava spike from Curtis. So here comes the aggro. Yeah, it's going to drop Wyatt to 6. Curtis may just have just burn spells. I think there was an Eidolon in his hand, which is also really good for him to play this turn too. Oh, Skullcrack, Bolt, Eidolon. Yep, and Wyatt's I have seen enough. You are going to take care of me. So it looks like Curtis Taylor's going to pick up game 1 over Wyatt Goehring, playing Burn against Elves.
Oof, rough start for Wyatt there. Had to mold a 5. Had too many lands in his opening hand, and then not enough in the rest of the hands that he drew. But it's such a bad feeling if you have to mulligan.
It is.
4.
I agree. I mean, I hate blaming losses on mulligans, but sometimes when they get down, when you mold a 6, it's not maybe a great excuse that you lost,
right?
Because you're only 1 card down. You can still draw. It could be on the draw too and be okay. But yeah, when you start getting the 4 and 5 range, it really can play an effect on how your matchup goes, especially against Burn keeping 6 cards.
Yeah. 6. I wouldn't say. I don't really usually feel bad if I have to mulligan to 6. Mulliganing to 5 is kind of a sucky feeling. And mulliganing to 4, it just makes my heart hurt.
Oh yes. I usually play by a rule myself that I will not go below 5, no matter how bad it is.
I tend to stick to the same rule majority of the time. If there was a matchup where I needed some sort of sideboard card and I absolutely had to have it in my starting hand and I didn't get it at 5, I would consider going to 4 to see if I can get it, but it's so risky, and you're just card advantage is everything in this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I agree here. So, coming from the Burn player, what do you expect is a good sideboard card against Elves?
I'm not too familiar with Curtis's sideboard. I mean, if he had... I'm trying to look at what he's got there.
Looks like the Eidolons are coming out, maybe.
Yeah, which is odd because I actually
yeah.
think they're kind of better in this matchup. He might just want to bring in more burn for the dorks. I don't think he runs any sweepers like Pyroclasm or Anger of the Gods or anything.
Yeah, and that's what I think you want to see from the red deck. You want to see Anger or Pyroclasm.
Right.
That really can make a difference against Elves. But it looks like, from what I saw, he brought in Destructive Revelry.
Okay.
So I think he's anticipating Wyatt to have some sort of artifact or enchantment interaction.
Right. Maybe he's thinking he's going to see an Aether Vial, even though I feel like you don't generally see those with Elves.
I mean, it's possible also that Curtis doesn't know about the Cloudstone Curio in the list.
Oh, he might know about that already, yeah. Well, that would be a good reason.
Oh, yes. Cloudstone Curio.
In there.
Yes, Cloudstone Curio is a very strong enabler.
Yeah.
Because talking to Wyatt, with how this deck can ramp, he can go combo turn 3.
Right. Yeah, because that's the CMC class zone, isn't it? 3 mana.
Yeah, it's 3 mana.
So basically, once he gets that down, he can pretty much try to.
Oh, it's absurd because if you go turn 1 Elvish Mystic and a turn 2 Elvish Archdruid, now your Elvish Archdruid can supply so much mana. You're gonna have so much mana left over to be able to do your thing.
Oof.
So hopefully we can see a little more interactive game here from Wyatt.
Yeah. I'd love to see that combo go off and send us to game 3.
Oh, absolutely.
That would be super exciting.
It is possible, too. If Curtis isn't aware of what the combo is, it could be possible that Wyatt just backdoors him here, but we'll have to wait and see. Oh, and there's a Modern Masters booster pack.
Who? Did somebody else? I didn't see it. Did somebody else just come drop that?
Maybe Curtis won it as a random. So that is something that is out now. Modern Masters 2017.
Oh, yeah.
What is your favorite card, you think, from the set?
That's a tough call. For my own deck that I'm putting together right now, I really can't wait to get my hands on some Blood Moons. I don't know if I would say that's necessarily my favorite card out of the set, but it's definitely...
something you intend to...
Definitely my number one target right now. I love the Damnation reprint.
The Damnation reprint was so necessary, and I'm glad they finally gave it to the players.
My first foray into really playing Magic competitively, like making the switch from just casual to competitive, was during Ravnica and Time Spiral Standard.
Okay.
So I have a fun spot in my heart for Time Spiral. It's one of my favorite sets.
Oh yeah, the Time Spiral is a great set.
Yeah, and Damnation was a huge staple of that set.
I believe it. And it's proven to be played elsewhere. So it looks like Wyatt does have a counter in hand, so essentially he's got any color mana for Elves.
Right.
I think Curtis has a keepable hand as well. I saw Wooded Foothills, but it looks like he may ship it. He's thinking about it hard.
Yeah, he's definitely thinking about it. He reached for the
I think it is a 1 land 6 spells.
Oh, is he?
And that's a respect for the combo, I think. You don't want to... Oh, looks like we are going to play it.
Oh, is that a Leyline?
That is a Leyline of light...
Whoa. I did not know. See, I don't know Curtis' sideboard that well. I'm going to look that card up real quick here.
It may be Leyline of Lightning or Life Force. I think it's Lightning.
I think it's the one that prevents them from being able to gain any life.
Yes.
Because I do remember...
Because Shaman of the Pack also allows you to gain life when you drain, I believe. No, never mind. It's just opponent loses life.
No, I don't think it is yet, but what is the red one? That's the good question.
So it looks like Curtis is going to fetch here. He's going to grab a basic mountain.
So maybe Curtis isn't super familiar with Wyatt's deck. I mean, I don't know if Wyatt has well-wishers or anything in his deck, and maybe Curtis doesn't know, but he's just expecting them to be in there because it's they show up in a lot of elf decks.
Well, Curtis is off to a strong start here. He has a turn 0 Leyline along with the turn 1 Goblin Guide. Wyatt revealed a company on that Goblin Guide, so it looks like we're going to get here. We got Elvish Mystic, and alright, so here's the start we were talking about, and a Nettle Sentinel.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, that is Leyline of Punishment. Ooh. Players can't gain life, and damage can't be prevented.
Awesome. So that card is very good.
So I wonder if he boarded out his Skullcracks because he's got that.
He could have boarded out the Skullcracks or the Eidolons for this card instead. And this card does seem pretty respectable. So it looks like Curtis is going to fetch into turn here, going down to 18. My guess is to get a Sacred Foundry. And, oh, looks like we're on... We may be on Curtis's turn, unless he's going to...
I think it's turn 2 right now.
Well, I just took his turn. I wonder if Curtis is going to have an in-step play here. Oh, no, this is Curtis's turn. Okay, so he fetched and shocked, dropping down to 16. Play a double guide and a Swiss Spear.
Oh, boy. Here comes the beats.
So he has to be careful. You don't want to cast. You don't want to swing Swiss Spear here, because the Nettle Sentinel can just block it.
That's true.
And that's what we're gonna see.
But it looks like he's gonna go for it anyways.
So Wyatt reveals Chord. Now what's cool about Double Goblin Guide is you reveal 2 lands, you draw 2 cards.
That's true, yeah.
But no, Wyatt should, unless Curtis is running Gut Shot, Wyatt should feel that the Nettle Sentinel is a safe block. But it's not wrong on Curtis, I guess, to try to apply pressure. Looks like Wyatt is gonna take 4, dropping him down to 14. And just like that, Goblin Guide can just Maybe he just offered it up to make sure the Goblin Guide damage got in. That's not a bad thing. And I don't know if Wyatt's ready to trade his Nettle Sentinel with the Goblin Guide yet.
Right. I don't
that card's
know
such an enabler.
This early on if I would trade the Nettle Sentinel either. Especially if he's got, oh man, I can't. I'm drawing a blank on the name. The one that lets you tap 3.
Heritage Druid, yeah.
Okay,
yeah, if we see a Heritage Druid in here, we're in for a wild turn.
Yeah.
So Wyatt looks like he's got a Company, a Chord, and some more Elves in hand. It just depends which ones.
Yeah.
What's nice about an Elvish Archdruid here, it makes his Elves bigger. And I think
a little
that's
bit
really
harder to burn out.
There is a Heritage Druid.
Yep.
And there is 3 mana, 4 mana. I think we're going to see a Company.
Collect a Company.
There's a Company. And we're going to untap the Nettle Sentinel. So cool about how that card works. So essentially, you find 2 Elves here.
Right.
You can work aggro. And I saw an Elvish Archdruid, so this is going to be a pretty good hand.
3 more mana, too.
Yeah, Elvish Archdruid, I think, and another Heritage Druid. So you can cast another spell, potentially, here. Oof. There's a Nettle Sentinel and an Archdruid.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, so now that he's got double Nettle Sentinel, this is so good with Heritage Druid.
And another... Oh,
yep,
man.
Why not cast another spell? And now all of his Elves are 4/4 base. No, 3/3 base. The Nettle Sentinels are 4/4s.
Right.
So now, just like that, he can crack back before, put Curtis to 12, and be like,
yeah,
I got lethal.
That was a big turn where Wyatt pretty much explosively said, you're not going to burn out my creatures at this point.
So it looks like he's playing defense now. Both Archdruids are 3/3s, which is really relevant because they pump each other right now.
Right.
And having 2 4/4 Nettle Sentinels also kind of shuts down the Goblin Guides.
Yeah.
And I think Wyatt is fine if you want your Goblin Guides to die, along with you having to use a burn spell to kill the other ones. There is a suspended Rift Bolt.
And it looked like Wyatt had Quarter Calling in hand, too.
Yeah, so you will be able... If he makes a lot of mana, he technically could court up Emrakul.
Yeah, oh man, he'd have to have a lot. But
I mean, each Archdruid right now is making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each Archdruid is making 6 mana. That's 12 mana off 2 Archdruids right now.
That's true. That puts him pretty close.
But I'm assuming Wyatt may be running a Craterhoof in his list, too. So it is possible.
He might have enough on board to Court of Calling Emrakul if he gets 12 off of...
He may go for the Craterhoof kill here. We'll have to wait and see. He definitely has Curtis where he wants him in terms of not having Curtis attack. You know that's a good thing for the burn players and turn it sideways.
Curtis' hand just a little too slow this time. I think what he really wants to see is a handful of burn.
Right.
As opposed to a handful of creatures in this matchup.
There is a Court of Calling.
Yep.
So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He used to go down to 6. So looks like he corded for 3. Yep, Missouri. It looks like he may just be going.
Well, this is looking a lot like an elf deck.
Yes.
I mean,
it's looking a lot more like an elf deck. And there is the Archdruid activation. I'm going to use Missouri and pump my team.
Yeah.
And looks like we got 7, 14, 20.
Enough.
26. Yeah, we're going to have 26 with Trample coming across here.
Wow. Well, it's interesting that Wyatt's deck can really just play like a pretty typical elf deck and then has that little added spice in there. If he has the means to put an Emrakul in. And I guess, if you can play an Emrakul, there's not really a reason not to put it in a deck if you can play
absolutely, yeah.
So...
Well, Wyatt's contemplating this attack here. I think he gets it if he just turns sideways, but you gotta be, I guess, a little careful. Oh, looks like he's making mana, which is fine. The Nettle Sentinels can still attack when he... Oh, Shaman. Yep, that's gonna do the game, though. That's gonna drain Curtis, I believe, 8 or 9 here, dropping him down to 7.
Is it 10?
It is 10. Yeah, it is 10.
Yeah. Oof.
And now Wyatt should be able just to be like, all right, cool. Activate a Zuri battle.
All right, so he's swinging in with 4/4 Nettle Sentinels. I don't think he pumped them with a Zuri.
No, he didn't. He may have. It depends how much mana. He floated that mana off of the Archdruid. So it looks like Wyatt's going to swiftly take game 2 against Burn, being the quicker deck there.
All right, we got ourselves a game here.
Well, that was definitely an Elves deck.
Very interesting. Curtis revealing a Lightning Helix in hand. Interesting that he would keep that in the deck when he puts Leyline of Punishment in there.
That is true. Because, yeah, you don't want to gain life for your... you don't want to have spells like that in there when you have spells that specifically say they can't happen.
Yeah, I also hope... There you go. I was going to say, I hope he remembers to take the Leyline
Yes,
back.
I do hope he picks that up.
Yeah, I don't... I mean, with the Leyline of Punishment down, Lightning Helix is really just like a worse Incinerate. I don't know if that's worth keeping in at that point.
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
I guess he can hit creatures with it, but he'd get more damage off of keeping Skullcracks in there if he didn't already keep those in there.
I agree.
Alright, both players just shuffling up here. Didn't look like either one of them really went back to their sideboard.
I think Wyatt double checked his, but I don't think he made any changes.
Yeah.
And folks, I know currently the time remaining is not showing up, but there is just at 30 minutes left in the round.
Yeah.
We expect these players to be finished well before that timer runs out.
Yeah.
And if we can grab a game 3 for you guys, we will bring them up here and see if we can't get that rolling as well. We'll have to see what's in the field tonight.
Yeah, there's a decent turnout tonight. For the past...
It was like 21 or 22, yeah.
Yeah, for the past, month or so, maybe even a little longer, we've gotten 20-plus people every Friday. That's pretty good for what we're usually pulling around here, so... Pretty good diverse pool.
It's a lot of different decks.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
And now that Modern Masters has come out, I've heard a lot of our local players talking about ideas they have for wanting to build different decks.
Of
so
course,
players
yeah.
are branching out and changing up the decks that they normally play. So
with fetch lands being reprinted, it's just now players have essentially access to the mana base that they desired, and they can just build anything hopefully they want.
I heard Marsh Flats were down to like $20 now.
Oh yeah, like I bought my own myself Misties last night, and they dropped from when I was pricing them the day before at 34. They had already dropped down to 25 within 24 hours. Jeez. Like it was just. They are plummeting and falling and falling. So if you need fetch lands, get them now. Like they are going to an all-time low, and that's what they're going to see, just like the cons ones happen.
Right.
So it's like Curtis is going to mull here to 6. Wyatt, I think, is going to keep, and he looks rather excited about his hand. That is a Cloudstone Curio in his hand.
Yeah.
He got.
Did he have Emrakul in there too?
I'm not 100% sure.
Couldn't quite tell.
When we were in GP Jersey this past weekend, he picked up his Masterpiece Cloudstone Curios.
Oh, goodness.
Except one of them is a Ravnica foil, and it's tilting everybody because they don't match.
Good for Wyatt.
Wyatt is a connoisseur of foil elves.
Nice.
So he likes to foil out his decks.
I think tilting your opponent, well, not friendly. It's a legitimate strategy.
Like 7th edition Elvish Mystics, or like Llanowar Elves, like they were just white bordered.
Yeah, one
white bordered Llanowar Elf. I was like, Curtis is going to keep here. He's going to scry. He's thinking about it. That is going to be at the bottom of his deck.
Goes to the bottom. Can't really see what he's got there, but it looks like maybe a Goblin Guide.
So anyways, just tuning in, we are watching Game 3 of Modern. Looks like we got an Inspiring Vantage into a Goblin Guide. Strong start for Curtis, dropping Wyatt down to 18. We are in round 1. It's our first match, Game 3. We have Burn versus Combo Elves. If this finishes quickly, we'll see if we can't get another match for you guys up there to pass the time before round 2. See what Wyatt wants to do with his first play. There is a Forest.
Oh, well, that's shiny.
And there's an Elvish Mystic. So a Heritage Druid was revealed off a Goblin Guide. So
yeah.
No enablers in the hand.
Well, now Curtis knows that there's at least one in there, so hopefully he saves a little something for it.
Absolutely. I think you really have to respect that card. That card is the enabler. Alright, so let's see what Curtis wants to do with this fetch here. Looks like it is going to be a basic mountain.
Yeah.
So Curtis is shifting, unlike most players right now playing the Naya burn, Curtis is shifting towards just a red-white
Just
burn.
red-white, just some Boros.
And I think this is becoming the more aggressive version, just going after your opponent's life total. And there's another goblin guy.
Second goblin guy.
And a Swiss spear.
Well, this is a good time for him to have those out now.
Oh, absolutely.
Hopefully, he's just got some bolts left in hand for this. I think this is enough creatures for what Curtis needs to be doing, and he just needs burn, burn, burn after that.
Yeah, this is a very strong turn 2 for Curtis, and Wyatt's going to need a very strong turn 2 to get back in this game.
Right.
So Wyatt is going to take 5, because no good blocks for him. Dropping him all the way down to 13, and just like that, Curtis can just have cards in hand just to burn him out.
Yep. Got a Land Whirls off of the Goblin Guides.
There's a Gilt-Leaf Palace revealing the Elvish Mystic. There is a Heritage Druid, an Elvish Mystic. Into a Cloudstone Curio.
Oh boy.
So for those of you that may have missed earlier what this card does, whenever you cast a creature spell or a spell of another type, like an enchantment, or
just a permanent,
a permanent, a non-land permanent, but you may return a permanent of that type to your hand. So with Elves and the wonderful things that it does, it can generate infinite mana, draw your library, and cast things like Emrakul.
Yep.
Or just infinitely pump your team.
And now I wonder if Curtis actually knew about that, or if he just found out about that himself now.
Yeah, and I think Wyatt was rather excited about this hand. So the Curtis is going to fetch here, dropping down to 18, getting another mountain. I think Curtis knows, though, he has to really capitalize his turn. But if you're Wyatt, you got to be a little bit concerned, though. You're tapped out. He's got 5 power on board, and just like that, 2 burn spells, pumps your Swiss Spirit twice, and it's over.
Right, yeah.
And Curtis very well could have, all right, Lava Spike, you bolt 2 game. But I mean, that is the risk you take. Yeah. So here comes 5 across.
And that's what burn does.
Let's
so we'll see
what we get. There is a Court of Calling.
Court of Calling. Man, Wyatt, no luck off these goblins.
There is a bolt.
There's one bolt.
Oh, man.
There's
and that is it. Yeah, that is going to be 7 damage to Wyatt. Dropping him to 6.
Yep.
And that's going to be 4 plus, that's going to be another 7 for lethal.
7 coming in off the creatures.
That is a turn 3 kill by Burn.
Wow, man, these decks so fast.
Oof. Turn 3 kill for Burn. Like, that's just strong.
Well, what do they say? Modern's a turn 3 format? Is it still a turn 3 format? Yeah, who knows anymore? Seems like it with these decks. But,
yeah, that was that was a strong showing by Burn there.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we were going to see if we can't get you another match before this round ends. If not, please stay tuned. We will be back shortly with round 2 coverage. Thanks for watching.